Hey, YouTube. 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 What's good? Y'all ain't trolling today? Chat, y'all ain't trolling today? It's Sunday. What y'all do today? What y'all do today on this good Sunday, chat? I ain't gonna lie. Was it cracking? Was it dry? Was it cracking? Was it dry, chat? Kissing in the rush. Don't care who's stopping us. Don't care who's stopping us. You know I play too much.
Someone
Chat.
once said,
You know I
I could teach you how
play
to weave a
too much.
basket,
You know I
or
play.
I could show you how to be a basket weaver.
They got me feeling like I'm academic.
From that,
We
move on
just
from that.
dropped
I
that
think we now get
banger
to
video. What
clearly
was
the
that, like
arrest.
3 days
The
ago?
arrest,
4 days
right?
ago? I don't care
Now
how
we
long
played
ago
and
it
we
was.
actually put up a
Make sure
bunch of
y'all
these
get
things.
there
Is
and
this
go
the
tap into that
no, this is attention thing, and
banger
then
video
this right
and drop a like.
here. This is where could we
Y'all don't drop a
find?
like, it's
I
funk.
think I have it somewhere, Chat. Don't you worry, I'm
It's
gonna find it.
funk.
Here we
Be
go.
funkin'.
This is the
No
complaint.
cap. Don't
Now,
talk to me.
the complaint
For
highlights a lot of
real,
things,
homie.
and this is where all the
Nah,
Pusheisty
but it is
fans.
a good video though.
I
No
get it.
cap. Banger
A
video.
lot of y'all are saying, you know, you stupid, this and
I'm
third.
trying to see if I
I'm
want
gonna
to
break
drop
down two
them
things for y'all.
Travis's
Very,
and
very
Green
clear.
Sparks. Oh
What's
no,
Pusheisty
Holmes.
really looking at? What's
I
the
might.
situations here?
I might
What's the
not.
weaknesses? And then we're gonna look
But
at
I do
Gucci.
want them for the
Is
personals,
he
though.
ratting? Is he
For the personals, them is some
contradictory?
fake
We'll
heat.
get into that. But let's really break down this
I
case.
don't know. Ain't
And just
nobody
like I
trying to
did with
give them
Dirk,
to me
I
for
told
a
you
good
simple and plain.
praise. Niggas still
Dirk is
trying
cook.
to
If there's
overcharge
three
me.
of his niggas that he been standing next to, be like, this is that OTF shit, and them niggas
No,
is
not
on the stand.
overcharge me, just
I think, you
retail
know what I
bet.
mean, stick a fork in these
Shit,
Dirk.
I don't even want to pay
But
resale. I ain't even
and I'm
gonna
pretty
lie.
sure, you know, I don't want to tell what people's strategies might be. I'm pretty sure everybody who's on the outside and whatever,
Real.
they're probably making sure, yo,
For
tell niggas gotta
real.
keep quiet, right? If there's a lack of people who are going to actually explain the conspiracy here, Dirk has a small chance, right? He has all the money for the lawyers. This is where you start getting to niggas through their families, not on some violent shit, but yo, make sure so and so's mom's or auntie's mortgage is paid. You know what I mean? Make sure that's paid. That they could, when they get on the phone with their nephew, they could be like, yo, yeah, you're not telling, are you? Not that it will matter, but it gives the best chance for Dirk, right? Dirk only gets sunk by cooperators, by people who are going to get on the stand. This is the reason why he's been trying to separate his case, that they can't use everything against him. It's a whole plot. We're going to see how it plays out. It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to tell you with this case.
You know I
let's do
play.
an actual. Again, I'm not an actual legal.
I don't know why I keep singing
analyst,
that song,
but
bro.
shit, we pretty much play one
That
on the
shit
stream,
stuck
right?
in my head.
I think we
for
do a good
real.
job, and usually even lawyers. If you didn't see my interview with Drew Finland, the $1 billion lawyer, the one that's now representing Dirk, and the one who represented he represented Young Boy, got that great deal. They've also said, hey, Act, when you do your legal breakdown, you've done
You
good.
know I play
You're usually pretty
too
accurate with
much.
the conclusions you're coming to, with
know I
understanding what's being filed, and
much.
not only motions, but the ways of attack of whether it's a defense attorney or a prosecutor. So I do thank you for giving me that, you know, slight credit.
X3.
So we kind of want to look at this complaint, and then we're going to get to the first court hearings, which is today,
Slime?
right? No, it wasn't today. Was it today?
Slime.
No, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. Sorry, but the paperwork is filed today. Sorry. So
what that business is.
Here's
nigga
the
walk up and be like, what the business
now,
is, Holmes?
I'm going to give you the pros and cons, and then I'm going to sum it up.
Nigga be like, what the
So
business is, Holmes?
Here's
That's
the pro, here's the con. This
What the
complaint
business
comes
is,
down on March
Holmes?
30th
How you been?
for
I've been
a
good,
incident that
man. I
happened
can't complain, man.
on January 10th.
I can't complain, literally. I've been good.
Well, the
How
pro
you
is
been,
this.
bro? It
First
was
of all,
Easter Sunday.
just this
You had good Easter
doesn't
Sunday,
seem like
bro?
it needs to be a Fed case. Yes, they did travel from Memphis to Dallas, which means
It
it
was a
technically could
good
be a
one.
case. It's now affecting interstate commerce. However,
I ain't
this is
gonna
just
lie. It
kidnapping
seemed like this day
and
went by
robbery.
so fast, bro.
States
No
prosecute that as well.
cap.
Why not keep it in Dallas? Secondly, also
You know I play.
it's clear, and you'll read it in the indictment, that Dallas police was called. They came at least in a day's time of 24 hours. They were able to grab fingerprints, which means they did respond to the scene. Yet they made no arrest.
Okay.
Yet they made no arrest.
arrest.
That's a pro. So
Don't
despite,
care
no matter what they got, they still didn't feel it was time to
It's hot as
arrest
fuck up in here,
these
bro.
individuals. Keep in mind, Pooh Shiesty is already on home detention. It's not like this guy has no priors. He's on home detention after serving a multi-year sentence for a felony that he was incarcerated on. They could have just picked him up, that they did. Why? Maybe it's not as cut and dry. Maybe it's not that cut and dry. We get to find out that they have to subpoena phone records, triangulate stuff, Hertz, all of these things to kind of really paint a good picture. What does that say? And that's where the feds came in. That said, this case wasn't just open and shut. What's the con? I'll tell you what the con is.
What the con is? What the con is?
The con, with the case being filed at this time, hints that possibly, after being released on a halfway house home confinement situation, the feds were kind of either following or somewhat monitoring what's going on with Pooh Shiesty. Why do I say that?
Shiesty, idiot.
Well, if state police or local police, Dallas police,
But I ain't gonna lie, they said
it
they
doesn't
don't
say
got no
Dallas police.
evidence
So
of
Dallas
him,
police, they
like,
came
doing
in, they
this
got
shit,
the
so he
fingerprint,
might
they did
be
whatever.
Good, honestly, you never know though.
They get tapped
They
really
get into
quickly,
so
like,
much
no, we're the
shit,
feds, we're
bro,
taking
and
this
shit
over.
be happening
We want the
so
case.
fast,
We got the case.
bro.
Interesting.
Shit be wild.
So the fact that the feds got on the case that quickly, maybe they were waiting already for Pooh Shiesty to fuck up. They were waiting. So as soon as they catch him with a fuck up, they get at Dallas police, no, we got the case. And that stops the arrest. Because the state ain't putting that much resources into, he doesn't even live there permanently. He doesn't even live in Dallas permanently. So, like, if they have a kidnapping case or, like, he pulled a gun on somebody, they'll just lock him up right away. Why do a months-long investigation when the nigga don't live there the whole time? Like, again, it's not a well-reported crime. There is no murder. It's basically kidnapping and robbing. Yes, big deal, but no one is hurt. Okay. Well, people did get choked out here. Sorry. Apologize. So the feds, I think, was on Pooh Shiesty already. Clearly, they're watching on the fucking GPS ankle monitor thing, but I think they wanted to nab him on the next time he slipped, which was this. So I think they took the case over
Let's
early.
go, chat.
Okay.
Let's go.
So that's the pros and cons
What
of
the
the
business
right?
is,
So right now
chat.
we're just at the date of the filing. There's some things that work for him,
On this good
things that don't.
Sunday
Things that work for him,
night.
again, I'm repeating myself, look like them showing up the day or the next day wasn't enough to kind of get the whole story or get the story to make it make sense to make charges immediately. They essentially have to get a bunch of things way later on, and the feds even have to take over. But the cons is the feds were probably already on him, and once the feds take over, it's not a good thing. Especially when you got a song out saying, first day out, nigga, fuck the feds, right?
That's how he was.
Okay, let's keep it
feeling.
going. Now, okay, it's a criminal complaint. All right, they state when it happened, Northern District of Texas. Now, this is another thing we got to talk about. So, they're saying that the defendants, all 9 of them, are in violation of this code of the U.S. Or
A
basically
conspiracy to
federal
kidnap?
laws, right? which is the offenses kidnapping and conspiracy to commit kidnapping. Now, I normally don't do this, but we're gonna.
Yes, you did. Stop.
Fuck, give me 1 second. 18. Oh, we're gonna look up the statute on that too. Okay, here we go. 18 USC 1201. Okay. Here we go. So there's A and C, right? So whoever unlawfully seizes, inveigles, decoys, kidnaps, or abducts, or carries away and holds for ransom or reward any person, except in the case of a minor by a parent. Okay? And when, basically one of these are done, which is any acts, blah, blah, any acts, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. Okay, the person is willingly transported, Okay. The person's, all right. So basically, it's just kind of like picking out what could be kidnapping. Technically, they're saying you can't kidnap your own child, right? Like, that's why they kind of mentioned the parent thing. So basically, once you confine someone in a situation that it
Come and talk to me.
Okay? And there is some transportation of yourself or the person across state lines. That's what makes it better. So then it's C, which is if 2 or more people conspire to violate this. So this is a conspiracy part. So 2 or more people conspire to violate this. One or more persons do an overt act to effect the conspiracy. It should be imprisonment of any terms for any term of years or for life. So the conspiracy, and most conspiracies in federal court, or not, well, most conspiracies, period, usually has an open-ended sentence because with the conspiracy, that might include a range of crimes, right? Might include even murder. Okay. All right. So bet. So now, and also
what's good, Jack Daniels?
They won't go for the death penalty. Okay. So
I ain't never drank Jack Daniels. I ain't gonna lie.
I'll tell you why I show you.
That's whiskey, I think.
I'm gonna give you a pro and con again.
Jack Daniel, what's good, buddy?
Well,
thanks for joining live. Thanks for joining the live.
Who shakes his face alive?
First time chatter. I think you're a first time chatter too.
He's clearly not a Boy Scout. He's a well-decorated criminal.
What's
He's someone
good,
who should be around
chat?
a
What's
gun,
good?
Members or gang members or
chopping
other
it
people
up.
with a gun, and
Late
he's
night,
pretty much violent.
late night chat, late
He's
night
sat
chat.
in the United States court system and also the Bureau of Prisons by doing this crime while he has an ankle on. That's bad.
Who else we got in the
That's
chat?
not.
Who else we got
Here's
up
the
in
pro,
this
I
thing?
do think. Here's the pro. The pro is, at least in this criminal complaint, we don't know what's going to happen once. There's probably going to be an indictment, and we don't know if there will be a supersede, but there'll probably be an indictment at some point. Indictment means a grand jury, which most felonies, in the land, they don't want an officer just sending you to trial. Even though the charges were kind of affirmed by the magistrate, but usually they like to have a grand jury indictment. Otherwise, you could appeal these 2 individuals' decisions. You get what I'm saying? You could appeal their decision of charging. So you usually get a grand jury, and unless it's Dirk's trying to do it.
All right, chat, y'all. Drive. We was on for 15 minutes.